It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Miraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute for March 22nd, 2018.
Millennials will pay more for top mobile shopping experiences.
Mobile commerce is set to become the luxury shopping experience of the future, according to new research from WorldPay. More than one-third, 37% of U.S. consumers are willing to pay more for a product or service, providing that they can get a superior shopping experience with mobile, according to the study. When millennials, defined in the study of those between ages 18 and 24, but generally defined as between 22 and 35, are broken out, the number rises to 44%, which is twice as high as consumers older than 65. Online merchants that can deliver the right experience have much to gain, as shoppers are making bigger, more valuable purchases via their smartphones and are even happy to spend more with merchants that deliver a better experience, said Shane Happick, Executive Vice President and Head of Global Enterprise E-commerce, in a press release. Apps are the channel of choice for 68% of consumers, but competition for app space on individual mobile devices is fierce. U.S. consumers have downloaded an average of 7 apps compared to a global average of 10. The U.S. is behind the rest of the world in mobile app revolution, as a third, 30% of consumers still prefer to purchase items via a mobile browser compared to an app, higher than almost every other country surveyed. Security concerns are the top reason consumers abandon shopping carts while shopping on mobile. Additionally, 77% will only download apps from brands and retailers that they trust. The research was compiled in partnership with Opinium and interviewed 16,000 consumers who have purchased goods on their mobile device in the last 3 months in Australia, Brazil, China, Germany, India, Japan, South Korea, the U.S., and the U.K. In the U.S., the study polled 1,515 consumers.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that the 68% number is weird. I don't want to download apps for stores. Like, I have Amazon. That's about it. Like, why would you just go shopping on the browser? And the part of that, I think, it also comes from because you couldn't really purchase that quickly, and now with like the one click buying being open, and Apple and Android having their payments right in the browsers, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, and your point is exactly correct. Why would you have an app for every single store that you shop at? I mean, unless a good example would be Target or Walmart. Target, because
sure,
Target, right? Well, then it's the bigger ones. So Target will throw your coupons at you, and Walmart. I mean, we've talked about their app. Their app is they really want you in there, and they offer their apps offer a lot more. But most retailers are not going to have those bells and whistles.
No, I mean, just a basic like a retailer. I mean, we just went with somebody like that. We talked about they wanted to build an app, and we're like, don't do that yet. Do that after. Figure out what your audience looks like. I don't agree that people just want apps.
No, I don't either. Your point is exactly correct with the one click. I mean, mobile browsing has gotten by leaps and bounds a lot better, even in the last year or 2 years, with one click checkout. If you buy something on Shopify via mobile, it's great. But it all comes down to space. How many apps do most people have on their phone? Probably more apps than they ever use. And they're going, I don't have enough room for this app that I'm going to purchase one thing from. And I'll bet you a lot of people, if they're forced to, they'll download the app, make the purchase, and then delete the app.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, make an amazing experience on the browser. Like, that's the point.
The merchants have to convince the consumers that the app will be a worthwhile investment of their digital real estate.
Yeah, and also from the other side of us, right? Like from our side to a retailer, why would you, like, anytime you want to update on the app or do anything else with it, sure, the updates of your store and stuff like that are all in it, but like any improvements on an app, you got to go through the process of submitting into Apple and Android and Google and going through that process. Like,
yeah,
on the web, it's done. Like, it's up.
So most retailers, cost is definitely a barrier. And we know a lot of what's the generic, they can use those generic store platforms that really look janky,
Yeah.
that they don't look good.
Yeah,
just so they can say, oh, we've done an app, but it's just they're sitting on someone else's platform and it just looks.
It's just terrible.
It looks not good. So the money spent on that could have been spent on refining their mobile experience
Right.
in their browser, which
Yeah, and the
based on this
argument
study is what people are using anyway in America.
right, and an argument with like, oh, you can't get the notifications and stuff. Like, yeah, you can. You can do all those things and make your marketing just fine.
You can
Nobody
definitely
wants
do
more.
all that.
Nobody wants more notifications than they already
I
have.
was just going to say that nobody wants more notifications. So if that's your argument is invalid, and that's where you should be spending. If you're worried about that, then you should be focusing more on your email marketing and your funnel than worrying about a notification on the phone. Because trust me, nobody wants more notifications. I think the little red light on the phone, I think people are starting to realize that is kind of draining people's energy. I know that if I have things that I need to have a red light on my app, I move those apps to the third page because I don't want to see that every time I look at my phone. And I think a lot of people are coming to that conclusion that it creates stress and it creates just unneeded diversion of attention. So if you're worried about notifications, like I said, your argument
I'm
is
even worse than you. My first screen is empty.
your first screen is empty.
Mm-hmm.
What's on there? Picture me?
Nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, the bottom because
You have nothing on your first screen.
No, well, except for the 4 icons in the dock. But yeah, I have nothing.
How do you do that?
What do you mean?
Why do you do that?
So exactly what you just said. So I don't just go, oh, I like having nothing. Like
All
it's
right, let me see what I have on mine. So
it's important things. Nothing.
no, well, in my dock, I have on the bottom email, messages, phone, and camera because I use this thing more as a camera than anything else. Then on the front screen, I have Google, Overcast, Slack, Maps. I use an app called Note from Squarespace, and my calendar. Then everything else is shuffled off into the second, third, fourth page. But how could you just keep it clean? Like, what do you just search for any app that you're looking for?
Always, literally always.
I actually do too.
I got used to searching stuff so quick, and it's so much faster to like look at that than anything else.
You know what? Like so did I, and I found that works so much better.
So much better, right?
Scrolling through, I never scroll through looking for an app, but
yeah, I just literally go search it. So on my home page, the bottom is just phone, calendar, email, and messages, and my email is just a work email that I always look at. But other than that, like literally on my front page, I have nothing, and that's just on purpose. It makes it interesting. I've done it for I don't know past 2 phones now, and I like it. Like it just doesn't. There's no distraction for it.
Yeah, well, I just had an incident with my phone, so I basically, when they sent me the replacement, I said I'm going to have a do-over, and I've slowly been introducing apps. And it's the same thing. It's like I go, I'm not keeping anything on my phone. I'm going to keep a clean install. And then I go to do something. I'm like, oh, right. I used to have an app for that. So now, but I'm very careful about what I put back on my phone. And I think getting back to our topic is that people are being more conscious of the space they're using on their phone and how much time and attention is being taken away from these apps. There's, you read all the time. It's like, it's funny. You read on Facebook, someone says, I deleted Facebook from my phone and I get so much time back in my life. Written from where?
Okay. Like, that's the most silly thing ever. Just don't pick up your phone. It's not really that fucking hard.
Just deleted it.
I don't know. I just
so much more time on my day now. Yeah.
So much day. So I don't look at my Facebook all the time.
I can eat more avocado toast because I have more time in my day.
That's not even that. Other people are doing that too. And I'm like, okay. That makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, we can have a whole other discussion about time and attention. I have considered, like, I do this every holiday. I delete all my social media for a week or more. It's kind of hard given the job that we have, especially what I do day to day, for me to just, I can't not go on social media, but I find myself trying to set up sessions. So instead of like mindlessly sitting on the browser, I will say, if I'm going to look at Facebook, it's when I get up to go get a drink of water or take a break, I will look at Facebook. I won't sit at my desk and just mindlessly, stare at people yelling at each other.
Yeah. I mean, I have Twitter open, but it's on a different screen, and I don't get notifications that it's happening, except for
right. But you have the same problem that I have, but for different reason, is that you need to know what's going on in business, and being in the sales end of it, that's kind of a vital tool for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame because it's rough out there now. There's just so much, like Twitter is not what it used to be. Facebook is certainly not what it used to be. I don't know. It's rough out there.
A little rough there, huh?
It's a little rough out there.
All right.
Got anything else?
Shop on your phone. I don't know. Play with your phone more.
All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media at Sumo Heavy.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.